Dear colleagues, dear participants, first of all, let me express my deep regret for not being able to be with you in person today. But it is a big pleasure for me to be able to deliver this video message and welcome you in the beautiful city of Cluj. This is actually our 23rd edition of Cluster Meet Regions and the second one in Romania. Such events are a great opportunity to connect clusters across regions and to connect also with policymakers. I still remember fondly our successful event in Iași in November 2023, which I had the pleasure to join. Now, today's event is organized by the Romanian Cluster Association, together with the Regional Development Agency Northwest and Smart Transylvania, which I thank very much. And of course, also a really big thank you to the government of Romania and in particular to Minister Daniel Daviet, who will highlight the role of cluster policy in Romania. In my speech today, I will focus on three things. First, the policy context in which we're operating. Second, the role that clusters play in driving industrial policy on the ground. And third, how we can support clusters to fulfill this potential. Now, first of all, on the current political context. You know that we are in a relatively new commission with a new mandate that has put prosperity and competitiveness at the forefront. And we have continuous and unprecedented challenges when it comes to economic, political, and geopolitical situations, which of course all go together. Against this background, the European Commission has put forward the Choose Europe agenda. It is both an internal and an external dimension that come with it. Internally, the agenda is about strengthening our own competitiveness and deepening our single market. Starting from January, we have unveiled a series of policy initiatives in this regard. First, we have presented the Competitiveness Compass, our industrial policy framework and North Star for the next 5 years. This framework is built on three pillars: industrial innovation, decarbonization, and economic security. And these three pillars stand on a strong horizontal basis, which is our single market, supported by investment, simplification, and skills. And we have started delivering on these priorities. In February, we have released the Clean Industrial Deal. It is about making the business case for decarbonization, focusing in particular on supporting energy-intensive industries and building clean tech lead markets. Linked to the pillar of innovation, we have also put forward the Startup and Scale-up strategy. Now, looking at the horizontal enablers over the past month, we have also released a package of proposals to simplify EU rules and unlock additional investment capacity. Further packages of measures will be released over the course of the year. In May, we presented the single market strategy in order to create a more simple and strong European home market. This strategy sets out bold actions to reduce barriers and especially the terrible 10 barriers that are holding back intra-EU trade and investments. It also aims to help SMEs operate and scale up their activities and alleviates businesses by boosting digitalization. Now, regarding the external dimension of the Choose Europe agenda, we aim to diversify our export markets and diversify supply chains. Our work on free trade agreements and critical raw material partnerships are key in this context. Let me come to the second point now, the role of clusters. And it is exactly here where I think clusters and cluster networks have a major role to play. What does this mean? Clusters, as you all know, are change agents and multipliers. They are driving the transition on the ground and support decarbonization, for example, by supporting the uptake of clean tech. Also, when it comes to the other pillar, innovation, clusters play a key role. They connect universities, research centers with industry and SMEs. Also on the third pillar, clusters are extremely critical in terms of regional economic development. They have the potential of creating investment hotspots in Europe because they know the strength of their members and they can promote their business case. Finally, also on economic security, clusters play a role. They connect industrial players across Europe and beyond and build value chains. Mario Draghi in his report highlighted actually the key role of clusters and said that they are critical to a more dynamic industrial structure. And we have evidence that that is indeed the case. Regions with strong cluster presence perform better in economic terms. We can see that these regions are stronger when it comes to, for example, investment in R&I, higher number of patents, and a variety of economic outcomes such as GDP and productivity. Hence, in short, we need clusters to drive our industrial policy agenda on the ground. Now, my third and last point, the EU support for clusters. Now, we in the European Commission strongly believe in the importance to support clusters. With the European Cluster Collaboration Platform, we want to continue boosting and tapping into the huge potential offered by clusters. In particular, we aim to enable EU cluster cooperation and thereby building EU value chains. Secondly, we also work towards boosting learning and developing, in particular for clusters, but also for cluster managers to build this potential. Thirdly, we connect clusters with policymakers, both at national and regional level. And I think the event here today demonstrates this perfectly. Now, the last element also links very much with our efforts to re-establish the cluster expert group. After the summer, we will kick off with a new mandate of this group. And we want to leverage the knowledge of the experts of this group, practitioners, member states representatives, colleagues from academia, to explore how clusters can contribute to the implementation of policy priorities in the industrial field. Finally, we support clusters and SMEs with targeted initiatives such as Euroclusters, a 42 million euro project to boost your value chains. 4 Eurocluster projects also included clusters from this region in Romania. Now, in conclusion, I would say that with the Cluster Meet Regions here in Cluj, we aim to create an opportunity to discuss about the potential of clusters in driving industrial policy implementation and competitiveness. We also create an opportunity to explore business partnerships, thanks to our matchmaking sessions. Now, with this, I wish you very fruitful meetings, many thanks, and greetings from Brussels.